Plenty of control. Feeds it through. Kane, not much defending going on. Torres trying to stay with Harry Kane. The referee had a mini accident. Glorious from Kane and Sterling, and Loftus-Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek and what he brings to this side. I think the relationship that's brewing between him and Trippier is very nice. They complement each other well. With when Loftus-Cheek pulls off that back line, then Trippier is getting higher, and vice versa. Trippier can extend and get up. There they are now.
Kane. Forward header it was by Escobar for Panama. Rodriguez, Davis. Felt the breath of Trippier on his neck. It was effective play by Perez. Godoy. Can Panama change things for the better from their point of view? Basinas. Not the pass that was required. He had. Right. This last one came all the way back in October 2015 against Estonia. Godoy.
Ha permitido defender relativamente cómodos. En la segunda parte creo que nos hemos estirado.
Otra vez con Maguire. Stones. John Stones. Mire hasta dónde va.
Does it matter? Does it not? On time will tell. Well, the two teams from Group G facing two sides from Group H. It's the Senegal, Japan, Colombia and Poland section. Wins for Japan and Senegal on the bat. Here's Loftus-Cheek. And the corner conceded by Fidel Escobar for Panama. On the back foot again, the Panamanians.
Stones starting out at the top of the box. Look at the top of the 18. That's how he got free. They picked off Murillo on their opening goal.
Once again, the referee kept busy. Here is Kieran Trippier. Torres. It's headed on by Cooper for Panama. Walker. At the reading of the situation, back it goes to Jordan Pickford. They haven't had to call his name out frequently at all in this game. Pickford. A stroll for England.
But listen, if the referee keeps giving them, and that's the rules, give them. It's the only way you learn.
Yep, totally agree. Walker playing the ball to Young and then back to Stones. I mentioned Walker. There was a bit of walking football there from England, and I think that might be the order of the day in second half for large parts, with the win, the points, the qualification for the last 16 already secure for Gareth Southgate's team. And as we've mentioned, the issue of goal difference obviously comes into this now, with Belgium having a goal difference coming into this match of +6. England now also have a goal difference of +6. Ball played for Trippier down the right, but he won't reach that, and it bounces through into the advertising hoardings.
It's hard for England to get the tempo back up, and simply because it's too easy for them. It's so easy at the minute. They can do what they want with the ball, and it's become a little bit slow.
And so Pinedo has this goal kick from down to our right, deep into the England half, where it's headed forward by Kyle Walker. Bounces back though, and will be taken on through the middle by Cooper. Cooper now back to the right-hand side, where Godoy thought about the ball into the penalty area, instead turns and gives it out to the right-hand side to Murillo, who plays in America, as a number of these Panama players do. Murillo plays for New York Red Bulls in the MLS. Here they come, Panama again with a deep cross. Trippier gets his head to it at the back post, and then a follow-up header from the England right wing back to nod it out of play for a throw-in that Davis, the number 15, arrives to take, level with the edge of the England penalty area. It's 5 live, England leading Panama by 5-0. Throw-in taken short by Davis at the back of Trippier, and it's a free kick for England in their right back position.
Well, face of the game's completely gone, hasn't it? It's a warm day, and England have won the game quite comfortably in the first half, so it's just a matter of playing it out. Don't get injuries, no silly bookings. If you get your chance, obviously take it, but
if you're out and about back home on this Sunday afternoon, which may well be sunny where you are, can't be hotter than it is here in Nizhny Novgorod, but the match is on BBC One when you get back in, and you can continue to listen to the 5 Live commentary if you press the red button on your remote control. Ball played forward for Sterling to chase. He's up against Escobar, but a little tug by Sterling, or was that the offside?
Just a bit of a tug, I think, wasn't it? He's quick, Escobar, though. He ran Sterling there.
Well, he's the quicker one of the two. Of the central defenders, the Panama reporters that I was speaking to yesterday pointed to Escobar and Torres, who are the two central defenders. As I've said, Roman Torres is extremely well built, and they said to me, Escobar, he's quick. Torres, not so quick. England bringing the ball back with Loftus-Cheek just inside the Panama half. Loftus-Cheek just drifts away from Godoy. Now Harry Kane centrally plays it out to the right-hand side. Trippier come back from an offside position. That was a little careless. And Trippier rolls the ball away with his foot. You do not want to pick up a cheap yellow card for that in these circumstances. Free kick that Panama will take through Fidel Escobar. Be a great disappointment, this. Obviously it means that Panama will be out, as are Tunisia already, with a scoreline like this, with Belgium and England taking maximum points from their first two matches. But the final match in the group between Panama and Tunisia, that will be a cause of great pride for these two sides that we've seen already at this World Cup. Tunisia having not played at the World Cup for some while. Panama are involved in their very first World Cup, and I'm sure the target there will be to get the win, score some goals, but they will be heading home after the knockout stage, whereas England will be heading through to the last 16, depending on what happens in that game against Belgium in Kaliningrad, which is on Thursday, by the way, 7 o'clock UK time, back to an evening kick-off for England on Thursday night. You will be able to hear it here with us on BBC Radio 5 Live from way out to the west of Russia, the most westerly venue. England in possession inside the Panama half with Maguire. Little ball forward towards Sterling. The challenge comes in from Murillo, and then Sterling concedes a free kick. Gareth Southgate's shown faith with Raheem Sterling, and although he has been involved in some of the goals, I would say his overall play, it hasn't really happened for him.
No, I'm saying that as well. Yes, he's had a little bit of moments to link up with Lingard for Lingard's great goal, but the odd bit, we're talking a little bit here, and it hasn't happened again for him, to me.
And now it's the easiest thing in the world, really, in these circumstances, for Gareth Southgate to say to him, right, I am going to make changes for the match against Belgium, and you would expect that Rashford for Sterling would be one of them. We will perhaps see Rashford, of course, before the end of this game as Murillo crosses into the edge of the England penalty area, but it's cleared away. Actually, it's Panama who are going to make the first change as they win a free kick, but they take it quickly, so it won't happen just yet. Murillo gives it to Barcenas on the right-hand side. Barcenas plays it infield. Godoy is there. Godoy then back to Gabriel Gomez, who swings a pass to the left-hand side, where Davis eventually gets the ball under control. The youngster, Rodriguez, came into this World Cup as a teenager, but he's just turned 20. Jose Luis Rodriguez now plays it back towards the centre circle. Chipped by Escobar out to Murillo on the right-hand side. England are just allowing Panama to have possession inside their half. Now eventually they move it further forward towards the edge of the box. Godoy with a touch. Godoy and Perez run into one another, but Perez plays it out to the right-hand side to Murillo. Here's the cross, but it's into the backside of Henderson, who'd come across, and Panama have to go all the way back into their own half. They are still waiting to bring on Ricardo Avila, but England have won the ball back, and England now have options as it's played out to the right-hand side to Loftus-Cheek. Rather laboured step over from Loftus-Cheek, and John Stones, who brought the ball out, just prods it back into his own half. Looks like, according to Rachel Burden, who's down behind the goal in front of many of the England supporters in the stand, it looks like Delph and Vardy might be getting their opportunity to come onto the pitch. And actually, just as I say that, I see them both emerge from underneath the roof of the England dugout. So this will be a first appearance at the World Cup for both Jamie Vardy and Fabian Delph. England 5, Panama 0 is the score. The scorers, John Stones with 2, Harry Kane with 2 penalties, which means he's the joint leading scorer at this World Cup now with Ronaldo and Lukaku, and Lingard with the pick of the goals. Here is Loftus-Cheek. He's on his left foot. He shoots. Oh, it's deflected in! It hit Harry Kane and is deflected past a helpless Jaime Penedo into the back of the Panama net, and it is 6-0. The question is that Harry Kane's hat-trick, or is it a first goal for England for Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
Well, I'm going to go Harry Kane. Hat-trick as he hits it. He's offside, by the way, if it is his.
And actually VAR are checking it.
He's offside.
We've got the signal. They are checking for offside in the build-up to the goal. So I think that is going to be ruled out.
He's offside.
They're going to make the change. Meanwhile, as we wait for the decision to be made, the players are coming back to the halfway line to get into position for kick-off. But we've not yet got the decision. And Godoy is coming off for Panama.
Give it.
to be replaced by Avia. And the check is over. And he does look offside on the pictures we have.
Yeah.
And
he's going off now. What a time to go off. Score a hat-trick and walk off. Wow.
So has the goal been given? Yeah, the goal has been given. And it is Harry Kane's goal, and he becomes only the third man to score a hat-trick for England at a World Cup Finals tournament. And he is now the leading scorer at this tournament with 5. He didn't know much about the third one, but he is accepting it very gratefully, and he has been substituted, having recorded the hat-trick, and England lead Panama by 6-0.
Lingard off for Delph.
Panama have brought on Ricardo Avia, the 21-year-old who plays his football in Belgium with Ghent, the number 19. And England have made the 2 changes. So Vardy and Delph are on for their first taste of action at a World Cup, and they've taken the places of Kane, and Jesse Lingard as well is being taken off by England. So Vardy and Delph are into the action. Gareth Southgate has one more possible change that he can make, but it is now a record scoreline of 6-0 for England. Their biggest margin of victory, their biggest win ever at a World Cup Finals, as the ball's played back by Escobar to Pinedo, who miscontrolled it on the edge of the area. Sterling is still there, putting him under pressure, and as a result he was able to catch up with the ball and chip it out of play on the far side.
I've got to say, I'm taking nothing away with England. They've scored some great goals and set pieces a lot. They've done their job. They've been very professional, being good on that side. But how bad are Panama, by the way? I think I was doing them a favour when I said it was a Premier League against League One.
They've had a bad day, and England have taken advantage. England have been ruthless, and we have said that, haven't we, about putting teams away. I mean, we were talking about putting better teams than Panama away, but they have put them away. But at times you feel that they almost couldn't have failed to put them away. Henderson to Loftus-Cheek on the right-hand side. Loftus-Cheek now back to Jordan Henderson. Then Jordan Henderson plays a square ball behind everyone in a white shirt. Jordan Henderson, this would be a great opportunity for Henderson if he can to get his first goal for England. It's been a long time coming. Ball back with Murillo though, as Panama pass it out from the back, which they do up towards Cooper, who will miss their final match against Tunisia, having been yellow carded in this match. Keeps his feet and keeps possession and plays it now to Davis with a little flick. The Panama supporters have been undaunted by what's happened here. I think many of them were sort of fearing that this could happen. But 6-0 with still 25 minutes to play. We've got the list of World Cup record scores, and 7-0 would get England into the top 10. Here's Murillo on the right-hand side. It is 6-0 at the moment. Now Godoy plays it through. Murillo could be in here. Chips Pickford, and it's blocked inside the 6-yard box by a combination of Walker and Stones, and they volley it out of play on the far side.
Sloppy play, stayed down Murillo, but Pickford brave, gets at the feet of him, but that's sloppy play, letting him run in behind. Look, nobody goes to him. It's through ball. He's trying to lift it over Pickford. He gets a slight hand to it, and England clear the lanes.
Checking for a possible penalty. I presume that's the way that Pickford came out there. The check is over. The referee has a look over his shoulder, but that's only because England are going to make their next change. And actually Danny Rose is going to come on, so we're not going to see Marcus Rashford today. In these circumstances, I think that's wise, don't you, Chris? Now with 6-0 up, to keep Rashford. Maybe already said to Rashford on the bench down there, maybe already said to him before this game, I'm planning to start you against Belgium. So 6-0 to England. BBC Radio 5 Live. The one-day international continues over on 5 Live Sports Extra. The World Cup continues on 5 Live. The next match, Japan against Senegal, and then Poland against Colombia, 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock kickoffs. You'll hear both matches in full here on 5 Live. And we'll get an England score for you when we get a chance from Old Trafford. Panama are going to make their next 2 changes as well, so it looks as though we'll see Danny Rose coming on, and also a couple of Panamanian players too. At 6-0 with just the one further goal in the second half. Just have a feeling that they might look at that again England are 50 for 5, chasing 206 to win. So 50 for 5. I'm not sure how many overs that is, but I'm not sure that's going to be a factor. So 6-0. Just being told how many overs? 14 overs. 50 for 5 after 14 overs. Murillo plays the ball back into his own half. The sun comes out brightly again on what is now late afternoon here in Nizhny Novgorod, as Davis plays it infield to Kupa. Kupa finds Fabian Delph in front of him, so turns and plays it back into his own half to the burly, brawny figure of Roman Torres, the captain of Panama. I think there'll be repercussions for Panama after this match, in terms of what happened at half-time, the players gathering together before they went off the field, the fact that they're 6-0 down, but they've just been outplayed. England have played around them here. The substitute, Avila, on the halfway line, plays it infield towards Murillo. And of course, with that 6th goal now, that means that England's goal difference is better than Belgium's. So currently, if it stays like this, England will be top of the group, and a draw would mean, against Belgium, would mean that England will top the group.
I think that's what Belgium want, isn't it?
Well, that's what Roberto Martinez says that he wants. Are you suggesting he had a hand in them? Right, first change is made, and it is going to be Barcenas who is replaced, and also coming off now is Gabriel Gomez. So this might be his final moment, because the expectation is that he will retire from international football after this World Cup. This is his 144th cap, and he's applauded off for the great service that he's given the team. Handshake from Hernan Dario Gomez, the coach, as well, as Gabriel Gomez takes his seat, and he's replaced by Felipe Baloy, who plays for Municipal in Guatemala. And he is onto the field.
Strange England substitution. Trippier's coming off, and Ashley Young's gone to right wing back.
Yeah, well, he can play there. We know that very well. So obviously, we know, though, Chris, that Kieran Trippier is very highly valued by Gareth Southgate as a member of this England team. So he's taking no chances with Trippier. Doesn't want anything to happen to him. So as a result, Danny Rose is onto the field and will be able to show Gareth Southgate what he can do in an attacking sense, as an attacking fullback. He's winning his 19th cap here, and he too is playing his first match for England at a World Cup finals. So England leading Panama by 6-0. BBC Radio 5 Live, and that's it in terms of the changes that Gareth Southgate can make. And as Chris Waddle said, Ashley Young has come across to play as the right wing back. England in possession inside Panama territory, although Harry Maguire just runs it back into his own half and gives it to John Stones, and Stones gets it back from Walker. Just have a feeling they'll look at that Harry Kane hat-trick goal again, you know. Just a wayward pass by Loftus-Cheek, so Walker has to run back into his own half. Because if the shot from Walker was from Loftus-Cheek was on target, if it was on target, which I have a feeling it was, that would be Loftus-Cheek's goal, certainly in terms of Premier League judgments. Walker plays the ball across the back line to Maguire, and now the ball is given back by Rose to Henderson. We've missed a very obvious line, I'm just thinking, by the way, if it is a hat-trick. Come on. Young playing it into the edge of the area, comes off Torres, and now the ball runs away, and it's played away by Godoy, who's able to clear it towards the halfway line, as Cooper rolls it into the centre to central defender Escobar, and now Murillo takes a heavy touch, and he's going to be dispossessed by Sterling. He is, and then he hacks down Sterling, who is away from him. That's going to be a yellow card, and it's a chance for another set piece to be delivered into the Panama penalty area.
Yep, another card. That's him missing the next game as well.
If that is a hat-trick for Harry Kane, it is, of course, for Harry Kane, a Panama.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I didn't want to say it. Because I thought about it, and I thought, I'm not going to say that. We all say some bad ones, don't we? But I'm not.
I'm turning my back on you.
Okay.
Right, free kick. Young is going to take this in. There's no Harry Kane on the field anymore, so who's the target going to be? or are Panama going to play it cleanly? One-man wall. Young waiting to take this. We've got a Mexican wave starting up, or is that a Panamanian wave? Young.
No, they've got a canal there, not wave.
Yeah, the Los Canaleros, the canal men, are holding their line on the edge of the penalty area. Young flights the ball in towards the back post. Maguire heads it back across. There's a little touch from the head, and then it's back to Henderson, who sends his volley wide of the top corner. I thought he was on for his first goal.
Yeah, so did I. Good technique as well. He's not happy. He's actually thought that was going in. Another set piece. Maguire's so strong in the air, comes out and he gets his... Oh, it's great technique by him. Just can't hit the target. Great effort.
Jamie Vardy actually headed it back to Henderson, who was looking to do almost a Mark Hughes style volley from the edge of the area, but he pulled it just right. So on this beautiful afternoon, absolutely gorgeous afternoon here in this part of Russia, we're actually about 4 hours on the train to the east of Moscow. We'll be going back there tomorrow. And Russia is the song that is being sung in the stadium here by the locals, and they are waving the flags of Russia all around the place and lifting them high. So a little bit of the local flavour from our friends in Nizhny Novgorod. Beautiful afternoon, as I say. It's at the confluence of these two rivers. There are loads of little islands. We took the cable car, didn't we, over the Volga yesterday, and as we did so, and actually for a few minutes, rather disconcertingly, it came to a stop, and it was very quiet as we hung about 100 feet above the Volga River, and we could only hear the wind. It's a little like being in Where Eagles Dare, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we wondered where we might be still in now, but quickly it got moving again. So we'd had Mark Chapman with us in there. Can you imagine?
Panic stations,
yeah, very much so. Here's Rose on the left-hand side for England. Murillo, though, wins it back from over the top. Pickford's come a long way. He's chested it down on the edge of the penalty area, and he's been able to stab. We'll give it to the now right wing back, Ashley Young. We've got 15 minutes to play. England were 5-0 up at half-time. They're on the way to a record score. They're on the way to topping the group, going into that final match with Belgium. And I'm sure Gareth Southgate will have to answer the question about how many changes he's going to make for the Belgian game, particularly given what Roberto Martinez said about his intentions yesterday. However, we will bring you those interviews with Gareth Southgate and the England players during the course of 6:06. The lines are open for that, but Panama are on the move down the left-hand side. That's what they want. They want to see their team score a goal. Rodriguez whips it across, and actually Danny Rose makes contact with it. It hits the corner flag, and it goes out for a corner to Panama.
Well, they've not looked threatening in any set piece at all, have they? In England do them very well, but that was a good race that down that left-hand side, wasn't it? There, Rodriguez giving Kyle Walker a good run for his money.
The attendance 43,319 inside this. Very attractive. It's actually possibly the most attractive stadium that we've been to yet. Corner for Panama, in towards the near post. A glance across. Oh, Torres had the chance at the back post. Roman Torres, of all people, the man who scored the famous goal, could have scored an almost even more famous goal. Their first at the World Cup finals, but he slid it wide.
Well, you've got to say, Jordan Henderson lets the first man get in front, and Harry Maguire switches off at the far post. He should have scored.
He got the goal against Costa Rica that helped clinch qualification when they beat Costa Rica, Panama, and made it to rugby. The first one for them at the World Cup final, despite the scoreline of 6-0 at the moment. I mean, I don't know what they might do with him in terms of making him a national hero, but if he'd scored that one, well, he's made for life. However, he put it wide. So it's still 6-0, and England with Loftus-Cheek, who runs into trouble, and Panama look to break away again. I get the feeling now that they are going for this goal here. They're being beaten, they're going to be heavily beaten, but whenever they get the ball, they are heading directly towards the penalty area, which is what they're doing now with Cooper, and Armando Cooper is just checked by Henderson, and it's a free kick 15 yards inside the England half to Panama.
Well, yeah, they go forward again. He just had a great opportunity to score, didn't they? I'm not going to say it, but I don't think we get a better chance than what they just had.
Free kick. It's going to be played in left-footed from the substitute Avila. England holding the line outside the penalty area. Avila pays it in, and a shot is in! It's in! They've scored one! Well, brilliant for them. It's Felipe Baloy who has scored Panama's first ever goal at a World Cup finals. He scored it against England. It's 6-1. And the Panama players and the supporters are celebrating as though they've won the World Cup here in Russia.
Well, I've got to say, I don't know what the back line of England were doing. You know, when you've got to play the ball, you've got to drop. And it's a great ball in. I've got to give him credit. One on the wall, he bends. Nobody tracks. They all just put their hand up and say it's offside. Two come back. What, 4 defending by England. That.
Stretch for it on his right foot, and he caught it well enough and hit a low bouncing shot past Jordan Pickford's dive to his left. It's the first goal England have conceded from open play at this World Cup, the penalty against Tunisia, and that one here. And we now have a scoreline of England 6, Panama 1. And that means that England's goal difference is now back to +6 in terms of who's going to top the group. Now I'm struggling with the arithmetic here in terms of who scored the most goals. Where are we? Well, they're identical records now. Identical records. They both scored 8 goals and conceded 2, England and Belgium. So
alphabetical.
So it would depend what happens on Thursday night in Kaliningrad, when we'll be there. BBC 5 Live bringing you commentary on the England-Belgium match, and of course every game here at World Cup 2018. 5 Live, the lines are open to talk about this match with Kelly Cates, who'll be hosting the programme from our Red Square studio. Kelly with Terry Butcher, the England captain when they last reached the semi-finals at the World Cup, and Chris Sutton. So the lines are open to talk 606 on 08085 909 693. At 5 Live Sport on social media, at BBC 606. Text 85058. And England with the ball in possession inside the Panama half. But there's a different atmosphere now inside the ground. The Panama supporters are still celebrating that Felipe Baloy goal. They're on their feet, they're waving their flags and scarves. Not really a day for scarves in Nizhny Novgorod, but they've brought them anyway. 10 minutes of the match to go, plus added time. Might still be time for England to add to their tally. Henderson is running the ball across field. It's Henderson, by the way, who's taken over the captain's armband after Harry Kane went off. At the moment, we're giving Kane a hat-trick for that. It's not changed on our statistics board.
No.
So a Harry Kane hat-trick, only the 3rd scored. Here's Henderson, plays it square to Delph to his left. Delph square back to Henderson. Henderson now across to the right-hand side to Ashley Young, who'll go back into his own half to 2-goal man John Stones. Now to the far side to Harry Maguire. England just keeping possession inside the Panama half. So during 606 we will bring you live interviews from down in the tunnel here. Which players will we be asking to speak to today, do we think? Harry Kane possibly? John Stones. Jesse Lingard?
Yeah.
Basically the players who scored the goals. Ball's out of play for a throw-in for England on the far side. And Panama with Murillo, who gets the ball back. Is quickly put under pressure by Danny Rose, who does well. Wins the ball back. Vardy then gives it to Sterling. Sterling with a shot! Just dips and bounces wide of Pinedo's dive to his left.
No, I've seen a lot of Sterling today, and he's worked hard for the team, but what you want is that quality in these type of positions, but that's a good 3-4 yards away to the post.
But with Kelly and Terry and Chris Sutton on 606, there'll certainly be discussion, won't there, about how Sterling has played and what Gareth Southgate should do. Would it be your gut feeling that Rashford would start against Belgium now?
Well, if it was me, yeah, but
but do you think he will do that?
To give everybody a run out, new games, possibly, but it's going to be an interesting game that now, because Belgium's on about resting everybody, so it's going to be. It looks like nobody wants to win the group.
But if you, I mean, regardless of who you're playing, listen, we're all saying, well, they're going to do this and they're going to do that and get through. We know we've got enough tournaments, you and I. It never works out as you expect.
No.
Surely it's more important. It's more important to put in a good performance. Put in a good performance.
Yeah, keep the momentum going.
Win well. Whether you're Belgium or England, win well and take that into the last 16.
So if you've got to win the tournament, you've got to beat whoever's in front of you. It doesn't matter. You can't plan.
However, it'll fill acres of airtime over the course of the next few days, which is good news. They might be talking about it on the podcast tomorrow. Every morning when you wake up, you can download the 5 Live World Cup Daily podcast from the usual places. Certainly the BBC Sport, the 5 Live website. Didier Drogba's on it today with Alan Shearer. We heard a little bit of that earlier with Mark Chapman. And tomorrow we'll have all of those interviews. If you miss them later, the interviews that we do with Gareth Southgate and the England players. Frank Lampard will be on it as well tomorrow. So that's the 5 Live World Cup Daily podcast. And Robbie Savage's World Cup breakfast is on tomorrow. Are you on tomorrow, Chris? 8:30?
No.
Every weekday mornings, not Chris tomorrow. He'll probably be on the next day. Here's Maguire on the left-hand side. Back to Stones. Stones forward towards Delph. Delph now back to Maguire. And Maguire is going to go off on one of those Harry Maguire runs. But he's challenged and the ball runs back to Delph, who curls the ball into the penalty area, but it's headed up and partly away by Baloy. And then Torres. It looks as though Baloy has taken the captain's armband. Yeah, even though Torres is still on the field.
Well, he can do what he wants. He can do what he wants now. He scored.
Yeah. Well, he's
got freedom of the city and everything.
He won his 100th cap, Baloy, in the previous match. He's won his 101st here. And he scored Panama's first goal at a World Cup finals. And he scored it against England.
He'll be running for president soon.
He will. The current president, Juan Carlos Varela of Panama, might have a thing or two to say about that. Here is Baloy at the back. Baloy chips it out to the left-hand side where Davis controls it. We've got just over 5 minutes to play. The score, England 6, Panama 1. No one has ever said that before in a BBC radio commentary, in any commentary at a World Cup finals.
England since half time have been playing the cigars on, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I knew you were. I knew you were. And you said to me, free kick for Panama that Avila will take. And Avila it was who played in the free kick from not too far away from this position.
Very similar.
When Baloy scored the Panama goal. And here is Avila looking to play it into the same position, but this time Walker gets up and challenged to head it away. Comes out to Fidel Escobar. Now back heel by Murillo. Torres. It's popped up on the right wing now. Roman Torres. It's got a rather testimonial feel at the end of this game now after the celebrations for the Panama goal. England cruising to victory as they have been really since they scored the second in all honesty.
Yes, definitely. It's been such an easy game for them, and you've got to beat what's in front of you, and that's what they've done. They've convinced them. The second half, they've just come off the pace, they've managed the game.
Three Panamanians. There's no one in the middle. Eventually, they do arrive. Sterling, Vardy crosses. Delft does well to pull that down, and then tried to set Rose away on the left-hand side. But as he went down, he overhit it. That was after pulling it down at full stretch. You don't want to get injured at the World Cup in the final moments of a 6-1 win against Panama. Davis now for Panama comes off the head of Rodriguez, and then back once again to Davis near the halfway line. Just really seeing this game out now. If England happen to get another chance to score another one, then all well and good, but I don't think they're going to bust a gut. Escobar to Avila. Escobar continues to come forward, but finds Delph in front of him, so turns and plays it back into the back line to Baloy. Now Davis receives possession, and Rodriguez, little ball in field towards Cooper. Cooper's ball over the top. Blas Perez is onside, left side of the box, brings the ball down, forced out into the full-back position by Kyle Walker. Perez, and now Davis is involved as well. Ashley Young chases after both him and Rodriguez, so Panama return it towards the halfway line again with 2.5 minutes of the 90 to play and then added time. But Panama are going to be going home after the group stage of their very first World Cup. But what an effort really to get here ahead of the United States in their final qualifying group. Here's Rodriguez taking on Walker, and Pickford is able to come out and scoop it up along the dead ball line. Yeah, it's been quite an effort when you think about it. From Panama, this country, population of only 3.8 million. It is an isthmus, as we've been discussing. Panama, narrow strip of land with water on either side. It has the famous canal, but they've made their mark on world sport by making their way to a World Cup finals. And okay, they lost 3-0 to Belgium and they're losing 6-1 to England, but you know, it's being here.
Exactly. They've done brilliant to get here, but they've found out that they're well out the depth here. Where they play games where they qualified from, obviously they're in every game, it's close. But this is another level they've come to here.
But what it's done as well is, as we heard from Gary Stemple, the former Millwall community officer who's played such a big part in developing Panamanian football and coaching, what this will do will, little like the London Olympics, as the phrase went, to inspire a generation, because baseball has long been the sport in Panama, but lots of young kids growing up in Panama watching their team play at the World Cup finals might be inspired instead to turn to football. So who knows where it'll lead for Panama. 6-1, and what's that on the surface of the pitch? One of the players looked as though he was pulling bits out of his sock, and they're orange pieces. They look like orange pieces of material, and they're littered in the middle of the Panama half. It's a free kick to England out towards the left-hand side that Young is looking to take. Just raises his right arm, so he'll be swinging it in right-footed, so it'll swing towards the goalkeeper, Pinedo. The referee again is concerned and making his point about holding on the England players. There's the whistle. Ashley Young plays it in. A glancing header from Henderson, took a deflection, but it ran through to Pinedo, the goalkeeper. So we're in the 90th minute, Chris. Who would you pick out for England in this match? And we also obviously want to talk about Loftus-Cheek, who came into the side, and Sterling as well.
You know, it's hard to actually say who's played very, very well. I would think Jesse Lingard looked good till he went off, for me. The rest of the players have just done enough. They've managed the game well. It's definitely not as good as the performance of the first half against Tunisia, but they've scored 6 goals.
Henderson takes a quick free kick up towards the edge of the penalty area. We've got 4 minutes of added time. Rose and Sterling are involved. Rose with the cross, but there's no one there in a white England shirt, and Davis is able to chest it down inside his box and volley it away. And again on Sterling and also Loftus-Cheek, who started his first competitive match for England.
I think Loftus-Cheek's did okay. I think I've seen him play better. I think he's looked a bit laboured at times. He's not free in his movement at times, but he's played this right-hand side. He's done a job. I wouldn't say he was outstanding today. He's done a job, but Sterling, for me, for a role he's playing, still not in the game enough. Doesn't look like he's going to score. Didn't really look as if he was going to set anything up neither. So, and that's what you'll be judged on.
That's Chris Waddle on 5 Live, and you can have your say on 606 very soon. 08085 909 693 with Kelly Cates and Terry Butcher and Chris Sutton, who are back in Red Square in our studio there. So England 6, Panama 1, and we are in added time at the end of this match. And as it is, England and Belgium's records are identical. They will both have a goal difference of +6. They've both scored 8 goals. They've both conceded 2 goals. So it'll come down to what happens in that match in Kaliningrad to decide who goes through as group winners and who goes through as group winners. Here, Ashley Young for England. And now Loftus-Cheek just stretches for the ball on the halfway line. Henderson, up goes the pass out towards the left flank, but Murillo got there ahead of Danny Rose. Rose, though, challenges him for the aerial ball, and Murillo has deflected it out of play. So Rose takes a quick throw in to Sterling. He's got no one near him. Sterling wants to go on a run here. He's just got a Villa in front of him now, so touches it back behind him to Delph. 2 minutes of added time to play before we're done here in Nizhny Novgorod. Loftus-Cheek is challenged, but Strong uses those strong shoulders of him to keep possession, and England go all the way back towards Pickford. So for England, it will extend their run of unbeaten matches to 12. It'll be the 4th win in a row for England, but from an early stage of this match, it was never in any doubt. Did it with the hat-trick, 2 penalties and one that hit him and went in. However, when we look at the history books in 20 years' time, we maybe won't remember that. And it's actually the first hat-trick that has been scored for England for almost 8 years. Ball deflected out of play for a throw-in to Panama. England's last hat-trick scored by Jermaine Defoe, who got 3 against Bulgaria back in 2010. Torres with the ball at the back, plays it across to Escobar. And now Cooper to the left-hand side to Davis. It's been a lesson for Panama here. England have been ruthless against them. They just weren't able to cope, Chris, for anyone who didn't hear the first half. Not able to cope with England's set pieces, really.
They're miles apart in teams, and yes, they're honest. They give what they are. They're very naive. Silly free kicks, silly pens of giveaway. Very naive side. Not a lot of discipline. They've played all right in spells. Some little moments they've had, but England different class compared to Panama.
Avila carrying it on. Delph with the challenge. Now Rodriguez again on the left-hand side, who has been busy for Panama. Cross from Davis. Attempted overhead kick. Perez shoots on the turn, but it's blocked by Maguire, and the ball bounces to Walker, who's able to pass it away. Sterling lets the ball run underneath his foot, so Panama have possession back. Baloy forward towards Cooper. Delph slaying the challenge. Panama coming again from 25 yards from an angle, and he hits it well wide of the far post for a goal. It's played 6-1 the score. Just keep an eye on the Egyptian referee here.
This could all be banana skins, these games, couldn't it? So you've got to make sure you've done it right, England. Yeah, people may say they played better last game, whatever. There's foul time, but England, for me, have done enough. They've managed the game very well.
There's the final whistle here in Nizhny Novgorod, and it's a record score for England at a World Cup finals. 6-1. And Panama, who were beaten out of sight in this match, really, will now go out of their very first World Cup after the group stage. They're down on their knees, a number of their players, but England have beaten them, and they've beaten them well, with 2 goals from John Stones, a hat-trick from Harry Kane, 2 penalties and one that hit him. Loftus-Cheek shot and went in, but it appears to be given